Thanks to everyone who contributed to planning this gathering. I am here today to speak a little bit about something that's got to change if we're serious about abolishing police surveillance in prisons in this country. And that is our culture's obsession with punishment. And so in doing this, I'm gonna get a little personal with y'all and share my family's experience. On December 30th, 1992, that's the day my brother Dominique was born. On September 25th, 2017, that's the day my brother was murdered. It's still hard to articulate the depth of pain my family has survived. Hard to make sense of difficult emotions we've been left to process, the peaks and valleys of anger, despair, sadness, guilt, and hope. But I'm here to share with you some things I've learned in the aftermath. Number one, trauma changes your trajectory in life. How you interact with other people, how you process information and emotions, and the choices you make, big or small. I've spent a lot of time unpacking the ways in which past traumas I've experienced shape who I am today. And after what happened to my brother, I spent a lot of time thinking about retribution. In reflecting, I uncovered a difficult truth. The idea of retribution becomes more complicated when we recognize that those we are punishing are also people this country has failed to protect. Nearly everyone who commits violence has survived it, and while that in no way excuses their actions, it reminds us that we can develop better methods to hold people accountable. When our aim is simply to inflict pain, we end up hurting people our society failed to protect from harm in the first place. And if hurt people, don't heal people, heal people? Amen. Number two, the criminal legal system causes harm to everyone who passes through it. This system white people built has four main functions: control in the form of policing, punishment in forms ranging from fines to imprisonment, exile in the form of incarceration, and extermination in the form of executions. It is clear that controlling and punishing Black and brown people is more important than meeting the basic needs for food, housing, or medical care, not just for Black folks, but for everyone. The system is morally corrupt. Our approach should be survivor-centered, based on accountability, focused on safety, and it should be racially equitable. People who are hurt deserve a process that will help them heal. People who are responsible for harm deserve to be held accountable for that. All of us deserve responses to crime that make us safer. Those responses must be available to everyone. Because let's be real here. We already have an example of what non-prison-based solutions to crime look like at a systematic level. And it's what we do for white kids, for middle-class and rich white kids in particular. We could reasonably describe whiteness as the oldest alternative to incarceration in the United States. 3, each of us is more than the worst thing we've ever done. The entire time my family was going through the system, we were terrified that my brother's history of selling drugs would limit the possibility of getting any form of justice. Because the reality of the system is that it works better for innocent victims, meaning the state is always looking to ignore harms committed against certain groups. We see it when young Black folks who've been shot are themselves targeted by police investigation, or when sex workers are refused the right to bring sexual assault charges against someone simply because of the work they do. Restorative justice requires a fundamental belief in the humanity of those who have been harmed and those who have caused harm. People who have been harmed have to be regarded as worthy of care even if they are imperfect, even if they have caused harm themselves, even if they owe repair to someone else for what they themselves have done. Similarly, people who commit harm deserve and have a duty to repair the harm they have caused. But our criminal justice system not only fails to require repairing harm, it often prohibits it. Number 4, we deserve better. I don't want any other family to go through what mine has. And I know for that to be a reality, we have a lot of healing work to do. Restorative justice contends that crime causes harm to not just people as individuals, but also relationships and the broader communities. This is a different form of thinking of crime, from crime as a violation of the law. If the primary understanding of crime is about legal infraction, then the most urgent concern is to reassert the power of the state through the enforcement of the law. But if the core concern is that people have been harmed, the priority is to repair that harm. The work ahead will require more than policy change. It will require a cultural change. We have to change the hearts and minds of so many people who believe in retribution, who would rather see people who commit harm suffer instead of wanting those people to change. The people who lead us on the path towards change are not only the formerly incarcerated people and their loved ones, but also survivors of harm. Those whose voices are typically excluded from the policymaking process because we don't want what we're supposed to want. I'm talking about those survivors who are concerned not just with interpersonal violence, but with state violence as well. Not just with our own trauma, but with the trauma passed through generations. Not just with ourselves, but with the people. Not just with our own safety, but with what will make everyone safer. These are the survivors who want revenge and compassion at the same damn time, and who change constantly as we heal. These survivor stories are messy, conflicted, and uncontained, but almost all of us are those survivors. To close out, I'm going to lead y'all in a call and response. The important thing to note is that I'm going to pick up tempo a little bit towards the end, and I want you guys to mirror that tempo. Healing. Let's try that again, y'all. Healing. And transformation. I want it. I need it. I got to have it right now. Let's do that again. Healing and transformation. I want it. I need it. I got to have it right now. 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 Whew. Thank y'all.